red side of the jungle. So I'm curious to see how this Karthus pick works, because it might be a case of, okay, we're going to pick Lucian, they're going to have a lot of AP bans. This is something we've considered from the beginning. Maybe it's part of why Johan is in today, or it could just be a nice response here on the fly decision-making from the side of the coaching staff here for Hanwha Life Esports. But I'm worried about it, right? I have a lot of question marks about how efficient it is going to be. Same thing to be said, though, about this Tahm Kench pick on the bottom side of the map for DRX. A lot of this game is going to be decided by the jungles getting leads to the top or bottom side of the map, I feel, because otherwise this game feels very straightforward, and I'm a little bit worried about where Karthus fits into that, because he's the least straightforward part about it.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see as we are hopping out of the rift for game number 1 of Match 55, DRX against Hanwha.
But it feels like someone back at the good old Rito RNG button has flipped the switch again, as they do not know about Johan here.
Oh, they're flashing forward, trying to get those concussive blows onto Bao, but just going to trade a couple of flashes. And
so, exciting to see how that's going to pan out, what he's going to build. It's got his Bomby Cinder already. He's just going to build Chem Tank.
This is one spot where you can really pressure the Orianna. The back massage comes in, and Solka, you talked about getting the Orianna low.
Yeah.
Now, Solka was like, do I get a chance to breathe here? And he even throws out the shockwave. He has no teleport, no mana. He cannot help in this fight. This Rift Herald will be Hanwha Life's unless Pyosik can pull off a miracle steal. You can see he's trying to put in these spears, and they're actually going to commit to this. They don't have an Orianna right now. This is basically a 5v4 as the Renekton will get gobbled up and spit out. But now they're trying to frontline over here on the top side as Kingen gets so much damage. Morgan with the big engage is going to follow up here, and Bao just does not do enough. He picks up the 1 kill, but that is just about it. And Johan picks up the Rift Herald after all that from afar while he's farming, while he's pushing the mid lane. So, the Nidalee not even that tanky. You got to be careful about the dive as Solka desperately trying to pressure Johan here. The flash does come out, and Toby, they've angered Toby. Pyosik gonna have to flash away as here comes the bottom lane now. Not able to get that root onto Johan, but Toby gets extremely low. Vista in the front, able to block in a huge manner and get Toby to safety as they get a lot of the damage done to those plates, but DRX are looking to strike back here in the mid lane.
Yeah, DRX definitely turning this into a much better situation than it could have been. As Morgan is like, yeah, I know Pyosik's nearby. Just gonna center this turret. A lot of minions, though.
All right, they're going for it. Morgan has read this very nicely. He is gonna flash away from the spear, but it looks like they should have enough damage, and there it is.
The cast,
one Spinorama is enough.
Yeah, the cast, just isn't enough. Pushes him away, actually. Not gonna help, because you gotta ult the wave at this point if you're Solka.
Yeah.
So give me some of those turret shots.
Man, Solka! You're playing with fire, man!
Here we go!
Okay, well, the Senna ult was late, but still, he is going to survive because of that shield.
But look, this is exactly what I said from the beginning. Like, you almost kill him, but then Johan tries, right? And he does barely survive, even with the mistime Becca ult there, but it's the nerf to Sterox and Gore Drinker. Hold that thought. Kingen going in.
All right, trying to get on top of Toby here, but he doesn't have the damage to do it alone. He is going to get devoured here, but in goes the Kaisa, and a quick Acathian Rain is going to be the end of him. And Tahm Kench in this meta, not enjoying his life right now. He's just going to jump over the wall, flash rather, and get completely annihilated.
Her damage completed. Like she's just not at the stage of the game where she can actually fight this on her own, and like, it's Renekton who engages, so this could be something.
The spear is on time, and Toby's gearing up for a 1v2. Can he do it is the question. Dodges the shockwave, but the damage seems like too much. As the Zhonya's does get used there right at the end, just to make sure. Gonna overcommit just yet.
I mean, look at this. Bao does a decent amount of damage, actually. He's spoken as much as he can, and he is very, very survivable at the front line. Just gonna chip.
Okay. Johan nearly dies. Just to, I think it was a spear and a little chip away from the Senna. Morgan in an awkward spot here, gonna get slowed. And now that their Karthus is so low, it's not as easy for Hanwha Life to just walk straight over to the Infernal Drake
with this composition.
I don't think there's any denying this, right? Can Pyosik even get in position here? The Braum ultimate does go down, and the Kaisa gets it after everything, as Johan will be the first one to go down. And he does not have that Requiem, actually, at this moment in time. So Hamalife just on the run after picking up that Baron, as Deft is going to get the 1 kill on his way out of here. And he's even going in, flashes over the wall. This guy is just insane. And DRX, they're not going to give up just yet. This is pretty dangerous. You got to respect that Kaisa damage right now. But they are not. The damage goes in. Morgan, I think he went a little bit too far. As in goes Chovy. Now they're looking to turn it around. Chovy gets into that back line. And he doesn't have a front line anymore. He's going to take down Pyosik.
I don't think he cares.
And he's going to get the blue buff. Make it 2. Can we make it 3? There it is. He's going to pick up the 4th as well. And it's not a penta, but it's good enough for Chovy and his 6,400 damage.
I mean, that might be the first of the last moments in this game here. I mean, that's that might be the death throws for DRX, like, because I don't think so.
And he was farming in the mid lane the whole time before that.
Yeah.
As King in now, he's trying to get on top of Deft. They're finally going to do it. How about a bonus Karthus? They will be able to get it. Here comes the Requiem. Does a decent amount of damage, but really it's just trying to take the pressure off of this mid lane. Don't think it's going to work too well. We got pushing in the side lane here from Chovy, but DRX just don't seem to care. They're just going to push down the mid lane.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be a trade that you're definitely happy with as DRX. Chovy doesn't have teleport. It's just going to take a turret and then head back, it looks like. DRX shouldn't be able to push an inhibitor. They're all very low. In fact, Chovy could take the long walk and try to trap them here if they stay too long. Push here with Deft.
Oh, God. Wait. He's back! They can't stop him. They see Chovy and they just run away. He's almost 6,000 gold ahead of I almost said Showmaker. Solka here.
Speaking of...
Yeah, I mean, you can't step forward onto this guy now. The only way you can engage onto this is if you get a really actual hard engage from the Renekton. Really nice poke coming out here, and okay, we just lose our Karthus just like that. That's the effect of Nidalee Senna combo, I suppose, onto a guy who is extremely squishy at this point. No Zhonya's on the Karthus, just going straight down. Poke on the side of DRX, and his one-way in. Chovy just goes to the backline, nearly just blows up Becca, as the Requiem is going to do insane amounts of damage to that backline. And you can see everybody on the side of DRX now is just on the run. They're all being chased by a giant shark that is Chovy and friends. And they gave it their best shot. Pyosik's going to try to come in. Well, he ran out of time there. The dragon died in about 3.5 seconds. So Infernal Soul does go the way of Hamalife, and this one is looking all but over.
I mean, Infernal Soul is so good with Karthus, too. It's it's unbelievable. This is DRX. I mean, they don't have great engage, right? They just have really good and consistent damage.
Okay, this is one way to do it. You just find Chovy in an awkward spot, and they're going to kill him. Chovy gets caught out, and he was the one member that they really did not want to get caught, because now DRX have a chance here to take the Baron and maybe claw a way back in this game. Yeah, I
mean, that's 1,000 gold, too, actually, going over to DRX as well with the shutdown gold coming through. They've got a Baron play. And I think without Chovy denying this is just kind of out of the question. You don't have any way to get Johan in position to smite this. Like, I mean, he's going to try to just walk up, but I don't think so.
Yeah, Karthus against Renekton, not a fun time. As, you know, he'll try to do a bit of poke damage here, but I don't think anyone's getting in there. Unless Deft can do something crazy, no. The answer will be. As Morgan going to get slowed up. That's a nice Braum ultimate, but it's not going to save your life. As another spear comes in, and Pyosik is actually going to force another flash. As DRX somehow finding a way to make this happen.
This is so DRX. 30 minutes plus with 31 minutes into the game. It looks like everything's stacked against him for Drakes, Infernal Soul.
This game is in a really weird spot now for Hamalife. They were just so dominant, and now they're like, wait, what's happening to our base? As here we go, Pyosik may have overstepped the boundaries. As a nice ultimate comes out from Vista, but he kind of oversteps as well. Gotta be careful about that. Still a nice amount of poke on the side. There's gonna be a shockwave, catches only Morgan. As in goes King, and he is just a monster right now. They're gonna take down the Gragas just like that. And Chovy's losing a front line bit by bit. It's not going to be easy for him to just solo carry 1v9 anymore. DRX, they may have found a way to win this game.
I think so. I mean, good luck, Chovy. It's all on you, man. You're going to have to save this game. You've got one shot at this 4v5 team fight you're going to have to crush.
Yeah, the hardest part is the Baron minions. You got to get rid of them somehow. There's so much anti-Karthus shielding that comes in as well. And can they do it? Trying to get on top of Depth. Remember, he's in this game as well. Johan's still alive.
Morgan's up in 15. I think they might actually have held this.
They have.
Very well handled. Very patient and calm defense here for Hanwha Esports.
Yeah,
to take it.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how these fights actually go down, because the late game comp from the side of DRX is still incredible. They're trying to turn this one around. Pyosik nearly just dies as Kingen has to frontline, but down goes Pyosik, and that's a big shockwave. He does get Depth, but with so many threats on the side of Hanwha still, I'm not sure that DRX have this fight. In goes Chovy now. He's found his way. The Requiem comes in, and Solka going to take an immense amount of damage, but the most important thing is that they actually survive. But with the Elder Drake up, I think Hanwha should be able to get it.
I don't think Solka can stop this. There's just no way. I mean, obviously, Bao isn't going to be able to do anything here. In this game, like I said, I mean, my money's on Hanwha Esports taking this because they've showcased in every straight-up fight that they have the better team fighting composition, as they're just going to take this Baron down the second it spawns. They're already ready for it. DRX can't contest. They could try to go for a base raid.
Look at how fast it dies. It's like 4 seconds. Down it goes. As you mentioned, easily these objectives are Hanwha.
Elder goes down in 20, so hold on for a second if you can.
Now they're just going to get on in there. Morgan catches the catfish, and down he will go. Executed immediately. And guess who loves Elder buff? It's Karthus. He's looking for it. As in fact, Morgan will steal another kill there. This is just looking pretty inevitable. Hanwha, it looks like, even though they were on death's doorstep, they have found a way to make the game rightfully theirs. As Depth is not going to do anything crazy. He's going to be able to get away. Down will go the Nexus, and Hanwha will win game number 1. Stats ready to go, as we're going to take a look at them here. Just some insane damage numbers from the side of Hanwha. Once we got to the super late game, it was really hard to really handle all the Karthus damage. Even though they did have like a lot of different tools to try, it just wasn't enough in the super late game. And even Depth, who was the 3rd amount of damage on his team, was more than everybody else on the side of DRX. Yeah. So, like I said, you give even 1 Infernal Drake, but then they gave the 2 and the Soul. And this comp is just going to eventually just shred through anything.
Yeah. Not to mention that, like, Hanwha Esports were the only team that took real team fights. Like, the most of the kills we saw for DRX were just picks, right? So that's going to be reflected in your damage.
Welcome back, everybody, for the Saturday's LCK, and today's analyst desk will be joined by Chang and Lee, Victory, and Gorilla. Welcome, guys. Hello, welcome everyone. To secure the 3rd place or to take it away, DRX and Hanwha had the same goal for the LCK standings, but Hanwha starts with a win for game 1. And we had double marksman for Hanwha. When I was a professional player, Tomkins was the basic kind of skill to get used to as a support player, but I think this time around, Becca was not doing his best work on that Tomkins. Maybe he was like a little bit of a proficiency. We saw a little bit of a lack of experience as well from the DRX players. And Kaisa Brown versus Senna Tomkins. Well, Senna Tomkins can get ahead as with the laning phase getting longer, but Deft was really smart playing around the jungle when he was able to hold the control. Indeed, I think Becca had a really off moment on that Tomkins pick today. Some people, argue that support players does not have the same level of mechanics, and playing Senna, actually the pilot really matters, but at the same time, you have to learn how to get control around the vision. And I also agree. So looking at the comp, well, they had tanks in the front line to dive onto the opponent, So the damage carries on the side of the backline can make a lot of new plays. You know, it was really hard to stop Lucian from dashing forward with the Gale Force. So it all came down to the outplay from the carries on the side of both teams. DRX was really behind in terms of the range as well, and also the proficiency on the Senna Tom Kench comp from the bottom duos of DRX was really off in this game, which means Soka was playing under a lot more pressure in order to carry the game. So let's take a look at this Baron team fight where DRX was able to take control back on the game. Lucian get cut out before this fight, so DRX started off the Baron end. Watch this combo. Now, a lot of Renekton players are building Stride Breaker instead of Board Drinkers. So Renekton claps on Karthus with Slice, Send Dice, and then he even used the Stride Breaker. And that was a very effective combo in order to pick Karthus as well. So that was a very safe Baron try for DRX. So we thought DRX is slowly coming back. Maybe they could even steal away the win. But still Hana Life was able to find the victory in the end. But at that point, Kingen made a very fantastic performance with that combo. And also Hana Life did make some mistakes. So props over to DRX for setting up such a great team fight. And then after that fight, the game was going back and forth, but Deft salvaged the team in this fight. Let's take a look. So fight breaks out on the bottom lane, and watch how Deft moves here. So he was using the wall, the landscape, and goes invisible with the supercharge upgrade. So he was able to chunk down Pyosik by himself. He saw Pyosik was clearing out that ward, so he was setting up that surprise play behind the wall. And DRX has to kind of have an extended fight in order to get the win in the end, but well, with that chunk damage onto Nidalee, well, DRX was not able to save their teammates, so they just had to retreat. And prior to that fight, there was also a control ward that allowed Karthus to that allowed DRX to see Karthus rotating up to Lucian. So DRX had this information that they were grouping up to clear out the waves. So DRX wanted to punish that play, but Braum was also following the jungler, so the map rotation was not going as DRX planned. I guess Hana Life played the map better in this game as well. And the POG will go over to Chovy on Lucian. Another Chovy hyper carry game for sure. He was able to exert dominance down on the lane. These days we don't see a mid difference because the mage, control mage is the mainstream pick here in the meta, but this time around Chovy's weapon was Lucian, and very aggressive marksman picked in order to put more pressure on the lane, and he was able to gain huge control over the map. Chovy used to show a great performance with very different champion pool, and this time around we are seeing a more and more aggressive pick for Chovy in order to secure the win for the team. And Hana Life is a team that knows how to play around that mid lane priority, and then that Gale Force combo was so on point. Chovy now back on the second place. We had a lot of third place tie like yesterday, but now Chovy was able to eclipse all the other players with one more POGs in his pocket. No one will doubt that Chovy is the solo carry player on the side of Hana Life Esports based on his performance so far in the spring split. Looking at the stats of this game, you know, what actually matters is the difference stat, DPM difference. So it is really impressive that he had more than 1k damage per minute, but still he had more than 462 damage per minute differentials up against Soka. 9 out of 9 unanimous votes going over to Chovy for that POG. And Chovy always farms a lot, and he knows how to convert that into a massive damage output. With that awesome performance, Chovy was able to sweep away all the votes for that POG. And we're heading over to game number 2, and DRX is one game away from losing that 3rd place spot. So let's check out whether DRX can take us to game number 3 once again.